Hey, hello everybody, it's Dr. Steve back with another episode of Core Wellness TV, and today I have an announcement and a tweak on an exercise that's wildly popular on YouTube about how to stabilize your shoulder for shoulder pain and basically for posture in general, but we'll get back to that. First, the announcement. Honestly, I have to be honest, I've been running into a lot of resistance lately. And that resistance is the resistance to what I really need to be doing in my life and for my business and for my family, and that is I need to teach more. I need to do more education. It's become clear as I put out hundreds of videos and gotten millions of views from all over the world, and got course students from all over the world. People are asking me to come teach and do this and do that. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to start doing more of that. And so this summer we're going to start a tour where we're going to do some live events in some cities, and preferably I like being in nature, of course, as much as possible, because nature is the way, nature heals, and nature is what you have to follow. But I will teach basically anywhere, but preferably in the nice natural surroundings, lodges, and things like that. So if you have a group, if you have a physical therapy clinic, if you have a chiropractic office, if you have a personal training studio, a massage therapy clientele, where you want to share these messages that I've been teaching over the last 4 or 5 years with you online, give me an email. Send me an email to drsteve@gettoyourcore.com, and we can get together and get something going. So just let me know if that interests you. Just make sure you shoot me an email, and we'll get together on that. Okay? So the resistance has ended up as me eating more, gaining weight. Ever since the holidays with an injury, and whenever you have something that's huge that needs to happen, the bigger the resistance monster gets, right? So the best way through it is to do it. So that's what we're doing. So that's number one. Number two, the exercise. On YouTube it's called the best shoulder pain exercise that fixes the #1 cause of shoulder pain. And that is, if you've seen it, you'll know it, but we have to, whenever you raise your arm, you cannot raise your arm like this. You have to have good scapular stability in order to raise your arm, so your arm kind of gets flung up like a lever rather than you reaching it up like this. Okay, so in that exercise I just said to remember to put your shoulder blade down into your back pocket, or make your core nice and tight here. Remember, that's one of the first things you have to master, is the ability to put your thumbs into your center right here and be able to brace and make an intra-abdominal pressure occur, and so your fingers pop in and out by your increasing intra-abdominal pressure. Think bearing down, bowel movement, cough, sneeze, that kind of pressure. Make sure you turn on your pelvic floor from below, like you're stopping the flow of urine or bowel movement. Turn on the breath from above. When you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down like this. So down from above, down, or up from below, down from above, and it creates that pressure, and that pressure is your center, is your anchor to which you put your shoulder blade into. Okay, forgive ending the sentence in a preposition. So here's the deal. On that exercise, or on that video, I've got hundreds of comments on there, but the biggest comment is, "What's the exercise?" Right? And because in the video I don't really say here's the actual exercise. It's more of a here's how to move your body correctly, which is an exercise, but here's one of the best things I can do to peel people back. Okay, and that is simply, right? Now this is very basic, right? And this is also going to help it's going to help people get up and down off the floor. This is one of those longevity things, right? I've posted several times in the past about how to get up and down off the floor, and I've posted about the sit to rise test, which means basically you need to be able to get up and down off the ground, right, without putting as many contacts down to get down there. The more contact points you have to use to get to the ground, the less your longevity is going to be, or your earlier mortality is what the study shows. Of course, you can argue about that, but bottom line is, if you can get up and down off the floor, you're going to have a better quality of life, which means less stress, which means longer life in general. So here we are. All you're going to do is, let me do it this way. You're going to place, make sure you always use the base of your thumb. Never just use the base of your little finger here, right? Always use the base of your thumb, because that's got neural developmental consequences. A baby who is not developing normally will push off of their outside of their hand rather than the inside, the base of their thumb. Okay, so make sure those points are equally distributed. You can make an arch in your hand just like you can make an arch in your foot. Okay, so make sure that you got your arch of your hand connected, and then you're going to lift the inside leg. And here's the deal: you're just going to push away from a rail, push away from a cabinet, and you see what's happening here? As soon as I push away, my shoulder blade is anchoring down into my core. Right? So that's the deal. You see this? This is incorrect, and this is correct. Okay? From the front, you're just going to first of all make your core. Boom. You got your core on, and you're going to get your pillars on, and you're just going to stay stiff here. You're going to lift the inside leg, and you're going to go from 3 points of support to 2 points of support. Okay? This eventually, as this gets stronger. Now this goes for a lot of you folks who really have trouble getting up and down off the floor because you don't have the strength to push yourself up. This is how you start. Okay?
So here's how it applies to getting up and down off the floor. There's the shrugged shoulder, and as I push away from the 2 pillars of my hand, that's like me pushing off the rail. And then lifting the leg is like lifting the leg off where I'm at the rail. And back to bear crawl, and get wide, and then slowly crawl yourself back up. That's a great strategy for getting up and down off the floor, but you have to have the strength and stability in your shoulder and in your core to do it. Here you can see it from the back. As I let my shoulder shrug, and I'm going to push away from my shoulder through those 2 points of my hand, and then my spine gets long, and right here is the magic moment. Right when I go from 3 points of support to 2 points of support. Right there, that's when the core is most important, and the shoulder blade stability is most important. Again, get wide, knees bent, and crawl on back up, and you're up.
So get your point, and you spread your fingers. Spreading your fingers turns on the growth and renewal system of your central nervous system. Push away. Right? You've got your center on here. You're never letting your ribs flare out in the front. Always keeping everything connected. You're nice and strong through here. And can you breathe while you hold it? If you breathe and you have to breathe up into your chest, then you're not doing the exercise correctly. You need to peel back and work on your breathing. Okay? So don't put as much pressure into it. As you get stronger, you can move further away, right? And pretty soon, guess what you're doing? You're to the point where you're getting up and down off the floor. You're doing kind of a side bridge, right? But you're doing it with good shoulder stability. Remember, if you start doing this number, you're just rewiring a bad pattern. And it's all about reprogramming, right? Reprogramming and rewiring, right? Releasing the bad pattern, writing it over with a new pattern. Once you have that new pattern in your brain, your tissue starts to remodel to your new way of doing things. Your tissue responds to your wiring. You change your wiring first, and your tissue will eventually lengthen and strengthen and coordinate like it's supposed to. Okay? So that's the basic gist, right? You know, of course, you can turn this. You can be on the floor. I'm not in a good position here, but you can be on the floor and doing a side bridge. But if you're doing a side bridge like this on the floor and you're doing it like this, you're injuring yourself. Okay? Or you're setting yourself up for injury. You're grooving a bad pattern. So that's it. It's the push away lean. Okay? The push away lean. And I want you to be very conscious of one point, and that is the magic moment. What is the magic moment? Anytime, and this is very important to be conscious of, anytime you go from more support points to less support points. Right now I've got 3 support points. I've got 2 feet and an arm. Now as soon as I lift and I go from 3 support points to 1 support point, now I'm on the outside of my left foot, okay? Now that I'm on the outside of my left foot, that support, if you don't have your strong center here, you're going to end up doing stuff like this. See what I'm doing? I'm grooving a bad pattern, creating impingement syndrome. I'm creating trigger points in my upper trap. I'm creating trigger points that create headaches. But whenever if I push away, now I'm pushing away from all support points, right? Not just my hand, also the 3 pillars of my feet. I'm pushing away from the 3 pillars of my feet. I'm pushing away from the 3 pillars of my hand. My center comes on automatically through the intention of pushing away. That's what babies do. They push away, and that's how they develop their core. Have that intention of pushing away, being long. And as soon as you lift that leg, that's the most important thing, so you don't feel big shifts happen. You should feel no shift happen as you lift that. In other words, your hip shouldn't go out, and your arm shouldn't come up. You should be able to still maintain that same stability. Once you get that, you're on your way. All right. Hope that helps. I think it will help. Like I said, especially the folks who have been really deconditioned for a long time. You know, as you don't get up and down off the floor, or you develop an injury or whatnot. Basically, you quit doing that kind of stuff, and deconditioning is the way into the downward spiral. So remember, every time you push away, you create the spiral of youth, the spiral of vitality, the spiral of power. Okay? Stress draws you into the degenerative crossed posture syndrome nursing home shuffle. Alright? Hey, enjoy the scenery, get out and soak up some sunshine, get your feet on the ground, and we'll see you next time. Remember, if you're interested in a live event near you, of course this is just the beginning stages. We'll get more clear about all the details. I'm just putting out the initial feeler. drsteve@gettoyourcore.com, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.